Welcome.
First of all, I'm sorry about my voice. Please excuse me. Okay. And thank you for the kind introduction. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Today, I am glad to share my study, which explores the role of student-produced video podcasts in the development of oral proficiency in ELT context. Okay, now, I have a question for you. Please document to come on your smartphones, okay? Enter the voting code, or you can scan the QR code to join. Okay. Have you seen the question? Yeah, I have a question for you. Which skill do you think is the most difficult to develop in online language courses? Listening, speaking, reading, or writing? Yeah, let's see what you think.
Writing and speaking.
Okay.
Writing.
Both of them?
Yes, writing.
Okay, I'm curious about your answers. Okay, I will check them on my phone, not to lose time, as time is limited. I will prefer to display them. Yeah, it seems that for most of you, speaking is the most challenging skill to develop in online learning environments, and it is followed by writing. Okay, thank you for your answers. Yeah, speaking is one of the, as you know, key components of foreign language education, and it is generally regarded as one of the challenging one to promote, right, to master, especially in online learning environments. And of course, there are some several reasons behind it, right? Affective variables such as anxiety, low confidence, insufficient linguistic competence, or limited exposure to the target language. In addition to the cognitive load of speaking, of course, psychological factors can inhibit students' oral proficiency level. In addition, the learners in non-English speaking society communities have limited opportunities to be exposed to the target language outside the class. So, in this context, technology has a crucial role because it provides authentic input and opportunities for practice, right? So, some technology-based instructional tools like video podcasts or podcasts can serve to develop learners' oral proficiency, especially in online learning context. Okay, my study particularly investigates the role of student-produced video podcasts in improving oral communication skills, not only during the times of urgency, such as the pandemic or natural disasters, but also in the context of online education. Accordingly, my research question is, how do ELT students reflect on their experiences of producing video podcasts to enhance oral communication skills in online speaking courses? Okay, let me move on to the literature quickly. Basically, as you know, a podcast is defined as a form of digital media delivering mainly serial spoken audio content that can be downloaded or streamed over the internet. So it is possible to access the podcasts anywhere and anytime. And podcasts, including video content, are called as video podcasts or vodcasts or podclips. Pedagogically, podcasts can be integrated into the instructional process in two main ways. Now, first of all, as lecturers, we can benefit from ready-made podcasts as listening materials, or students can be asked to produce, to create their own podcasts on different topics. Okay, with regard to the benefits of video podcasting in students' language development, the relevant literature indicates that it provides students with authentic input and that supports listening comprehension, facilitates vocabulary acquisition, and of course, contribute to the development of learners' digital competency. And with regard to the development of speaking, again, the previous research indicates that video podcasting advances students' speaking abilities, irrespective of their, learning styles, and even compared to traditional methods, and even compared to audio podcasts. So it also helps students develop different aspects of language, different components of language while speaking, such as fluency, pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. And also, video podcasting assists learners in organizing their ideas for speaking better and explaining themselves well. Okay. In this regard, my study employed a mixed method research design. My study was conducted, in fact, during the COVID-19 period in an online course offered to first-year ELT students. The course is called Oral Communication Skills. My participants were 60 first-year ELT students. Okay. The data for the study were gathered through an online questionnaire and semi-structured interviews with 14 students. Of course, the questionnaire items and interview questions were designed in Turkish to enable students to express themselves well in their first language. And the questionnaire had high reliability, and with regard to the content validity of the interview questions and the items in the questionnaire, to ensure the content validity, they were checked 3 specialists in foreign language education. Okay, what about the procedure? The course, which is called Oral Communication Skills, was given to first-year ELT students in the fall semester of their undergraduate program. The syllabus was prepared by the researcher, by me, and throughout the semester, in online learning environment, they were required to produce a series of podcasts. Each student created a total of 4 podcasts, 2 in pairs and 2 individually. Okay, you can see the details with regard to the tasks here. For pair work video podcasting tasks, my students are asked to discuss on a specific topic using the speaking expressions given by the lecturer. And later, they were asked to watch their own speaking performance and again to evaluate the speaking performance of their partners. Of course, using a rubric, again, provided by me. And with regard to the individual tasks, my students were required to give a persuasive speech and make a presentation on a controversial topic in ELT, English language teaching. And of course, some class time spent on watching these video podcasts and providing feedback from the lecturer and from the peers. Okay, what about data analysis? The data were analyzed both qualitatively and quantitatively. Questionnaire items were analyzed using descriptive statistics, using percentages and frequencies. I used MaxQDA and Excel. MaxQDA is a kind of AI-based statistical program similar to SPSS. And qualitative part of MaxQDA is similar to ANOVAS. And interview data similarly were analyzed through arithmetic analysis, again using MaxQDA to ensure a systematic process. Okay, what about results? The results gathered from the student questionnaire indicates that the overall attitude towards video podcasting is positive, highly positive. So students have positive attitudes towards creating video podcasts in English classes. They also think that as an instructional tool, it is beneficial for developing oral communication. Also, students strongly felt that video podcastings help them use some speaking expressions appropriately, such as giving opinions, discussing, agreeing, disagreeing, etc. So it indicates that video podcasting also enables students to develop their pragmatic competence. With regard to the pronunciation, it is noteworthy that they think that video podcasting again help improve their English pronunciation. And with regard to the attitude, we see that students enjoy producing video podcasts either individually or collaboratively, found it both engaging and enjoyable. However, the results indicate that the students favored creating individual podcasts over collaborative ones, although they think that each task has some distinct features. And with regard to the technical problems, it seems that most of the students, more than half of the students, did not encounter any technical problems during the video podcasting process. On the other hand, it seems that a significant number of students experience some problems, some technical problems. Okay. With regard to the qualitative analysis, okay, we see that we have 4 major themes, right? Contribution to oral proficiency, enhancement of linguistic competencies, difficulties in podcast production, and the pedagogical integration of student-generated podcasts. As you see, I have a quote cloth here. And this quote cloth indicates that the first frequently mentioned theme by the learners is contributions to oral proficiency. Okay, and it is followed by pedagogical integration, and other themes are mentioned, less often, relatively. Again, the word cloth reflects the frequently used terms in students' responses. And here we have a code trend graph, okay? This code trend graph indicates that here, the second theme, enhancement of linguistic competence, as you see, shows an upward trend, right? It seems that during the interviews, students has mentioned that video podcasting process supported their oral proficiency. On the other hand, in contrast, when we look at the technical difficulties, okay, we see a sharp decrease here, okay? It means that students encounter fewer technical problems when they are familiar with the podcasting process. Okay. With regard to the first theme, contributions to oral proficiency, nearly all of the students think that it is beneficial for developing their oral communication skills. But I have a contrasting view from one of my students. He mentions that he spent too much time, okay, for the production of podcasts. So it is not beneficial to developing this skill. Okay, and with regard to the second theme, enhancement of linguistic competence, in their reflections, students mentioned that, video podcasting also enables them to develop their vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and also fluency. Okay, I don't prefer to read, interview responses, but it will take so time. You can just have a look. Okay, these are about, grammar, vocabulary. Yeah, students especially emphasize that it enables to develop their, academic vocabulary. Okay, with regard to the third theme, okay, a vast majority of the students mentioned that they don't encounter with any technical problems, but they emphasize that they had some minor problems resulting from poor internet connectivity and insufficient equipment. I think this is the reality in our classes. Okay. And with regard to the last theme, the pedagogical integration of student-generated podcasts, students emphasize that these kind of video podcasting tasks should be integrated into the instructional process for both face-to-face and online language courses. And even one of my students suggested that it could even be offered as a separate course. Okay, what about conclusions? The questionnaire and interview findings were consistent, showing that video podcasting is beneficial for developing oral proficiency in online education. So it enables students to develop fluency, pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. So we can say that again, the overall attitude is highly positive. And they encountered with minor technical challenges. And of course, integration of video podcasting into the instructional process for both face-to-face and online learning environments was suggested. And it is interesting that, as I have emphasized before, the participants favored producing individual podcasts over collaborative ones. Okay, what about pedagogical implications? Although this study was conducted during the time of COVID-19, its findings remain relevant for the contemporary ELT because video podcasting continues to provide some valuable opportunities for the development of learners' language and especially oral proficiency. And we can say that student-produced podcasts can be integrated into the instructional process for both online and face-to-face language courses, not only for English, but maybe for other languages as well. And I think the most important point for me, such integration should be guided by TPEC framework, right? Technological, pedagogical, content knowledge. They have to be integrated into the instructional process in a sound pedagogical way. Yeah, for the technology integration, we need content knowledge, technical knowledge. I think the most important part is we need pedagogic knowledge. So TPEC has an important part here. Yeah, these are my references. And thank you for your participation.